Our experienced team of highly trained industry professionals understand exactly what your needs are, whether it is your family, your personal assets, or your business. Get in touch with AdviceCube today. AdviceCube, insuring assets. AdviceCube is a registered financial service provider.
Play it your way with My Day.
Good afternoon and a warm welcome for everyone joining us for the second session of the AdviceCube Grand Prix 2022. You will be seeing two matches that'll be taking place live from the Snooker Center, the Q Master Snooker Center in KZN. On the main table, you will be seeing Charles Jonk facing Kiyashin Moodley. And over on the second stream, you'll be seeing Jaden Nobin against Mervyn Donnelly, the local battle between the two gents from KZN. Main table is Charles Jonk and Kiyashin Moodley. Charles coming all the way from East London, Port Elizabeth, and Kiyashin Moodley is from Gauteng. So we ask you to please sit back, relax, and enjoy, and the action will start at 2 p.m. Everyone watching the match over on Jaden Nobin and Mervyn Donnelly's table, your commentator will be with you shortly, so just bear with us. Over on the main table, I'll be taking over from there. So thank you, everyone. We will start the action quite soon.
Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight. I see you broken and beat, head pulled down over your eyes. Every part of you wants to surrender, darling, you were meant to survive. With every star, we are born again.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome again to the 22 Advice Q Grand Prix, and we're now in the last 8. This encounter between Jaden Noben and Mervyn Donnelly. We apologize for the late commentary on this match. We are now back to things, and Jaden on the table. Slick shot into that bottom right corner. He's got a red on into his view to that center pocket. He puts too much power onto it. I think he had a lot of lunch and he's full, and he's got all this energy bust. So Jaden Noben from Durban, playing against a fellow Durbanite, Mervyn Donnelly. So this is a Durban derby. Mervyn qualifying courtesy of aging number 4 seed for this tournament, Ricky Trigoning from Cape Town. They had a very long match, one of the longest matches, which had to be decided on time. Remember, each match is allocated 3.5 hours, best of 9, first to get to 5. And when in 3.5 hours there is no winner, then the person who is leading at that point in time gets to qualify to the next round. If it's the final, then obviously they get to win. So their match had to be decided.
Sponsored by Advice Cube. These players are all playing for a whopping £75,000, sponsored by Advice Cube. Thank you to them for being
So Jaden Noben also qualified through defeating Donovan. Their match also was limited to time, and Jaden had to win 4-2. Because by the time we reached 3.5 hours, Jaden was 4-2 up. So I don't know if these two gentlemen here are going to be involved in another time battle. Apologies for the loss of the scoreboard. I'm very much aware that our technical team is busy sorting it out. Mervyn Donnelly, a very good Chinese pool player as well. Also used to be a very big black ball player in his day. But I see now he's playing the big tables, which is Chinese pool and snooker. Not very well known for snooker, but he's put an effort to qualify for this mega event, where Advice Cube has made sure that there's a 75,000 Rand prize fund. So the prize breakdown is as follows: the winner gets 12,000 Rand, the runner-up gets 8,000, and the other two semi-finalists pocket 6,000 Rand. Quarterfinalists get 4,500 Rand, and the last 16 participation of the last 16. If you come here and you get knocked out, you just pocket yourself 3,000 Rand. So we'll also have a prize for the highest break, which is 1,000 Rand. So just a reminder, folks, we are obviously in session number 2 for the day, which is the first set of quarterfinals. And then at 6 p.m. tonight, we've got the second set of quarterfinals. And then the semifinals and the finals are tomorrow at 10 o'clock and 2 p.m. respectively. So to catch all these matches, you have to log on to www.360sporttv.co.za. Alternatively, just follow the links on the Pro Snooker pages. The final gets to be aired on DSTV channel, Cape Town TV, channel 267. So it's Jaden Noben on the table. Misses that red. Jaden ranked number 6 in this event. His highest break sitting on 80. And his highest achievement in snooker is being a KZN snooker champion. That was in 2019. Very young man, 25 years old only. He's got a lot to offer still.
Considered home base for the cue ball in terms of safety code. Now with 3 reds in there, there's definitely no safe place to leave a cue ball. So with colourful shawl to go for, trying to have this brown, just both very safe. People at the bottom of the table with the bracket. Trying to do how successful is this? Very close to getting in the front, but there's stop as the producer. Get on the left of the cluster, the action now playful. So, pockets slowly easy.
Just to reassure you again, the technical team is busy working on the scoreboard. I just got confirmation on that they are busy with it. It will soon be restored. I will try and update you of any scores that I get as we take along.
That's a big part of interesting frames. You can see so many other reds. Now that the top of the table, just looking over to my right hand side, I've got a feed of the match over on table 2. You can see a complete opposite of that. Reds all the way at the bottom of the table. So maybe what you would find in a game of snooker. Scoreboards have been updated. And Shaw currently on 50. 40 Tony.
And there we have it, scores updated. So Jaden sitting on 16 and Maverick 13. Jaden on a 6 break at the moment. Hasn't managed to build a sizable break. I think in the first match he went up to 32. We also haven't received any decent breaks from anyone from the first round of matches. A tactical play there by Jaden.
Said at the start of the stream, John Young is number one coach defeated in all process limits. One would be silly to argue that he is the favorite, despite having a family at home, a new baby.
Excellent long shot there from Mervyn Donnelly.
Day job, very busy man. He loves his pool, snooker, especially his snooker being the current SA snooker champion.
Over in the white there for him to get a decent chance with the color balls.
Put in so much time.
So he obviously is going to play tactical as well.
It takes a lot of an individual to be able to sustain that for as long as he has. Should be on a red to the corner. And again, very awkward, very strange to see all the reds.
Brings back Jaden to the table.
Stronger in this tactical exchange between himself and Josh. Followed through with the bugle.
Jaden, who's very familiar with this venue, as that is where he plays from.
Himself right at the bottom of the table, getting himself with the perfect multicolour. This burst of light
Uses a Black Mamba cue made from Ashwood, and uses a Century Pro tip.
very still that he had been with very
And his favorite brand of chalk is the Tom. We all know Tom Billiards. Our last tournament was proudly sponsored by Tom, which is called the Tom Classic. Mervyn on the table. He's got the red that he'll run alongside the cushion. Doesn't quite work out for him in that instance. Brings back Jaden to the table, who has got a good view of the red that's closest to the bottom left corner pocket. Should be a routine shot, which he does with so much ease. And probably have to play that green into the very same pocket. Very good positional play. Is white sitting behind that red. You surely need a rest for that one. I'll extend his cue and apply the use of a rest. Does well, but I think he overruns the white a little bit. He would have ideally loved to have left it close to the black for maximum points. So he's got options. He's got the black, he's got the pink, but you definitely have to go for the maximum points, which is ultimately the 7 with the black bull. Didn't do very well with the white ball there. He's just limited himself.
Past the pivot. No problems there for Charles. It's been dealing with the Reds and Crews with the Reds being so awkward. It wants to.
And he ends his visit with a safety shot. Bringing back Mervyn, who'll probably do the same as well. We're going to see a bit of a safety battle for the next couple of moves here.
A large difference being accumulated by Charlotte in this frame. Sensational. Seeing that ball almost coming out. And I'm playing on a Will Rocker. There is a professional standard table on striking cloth. Everything that you see on the screen now is towards standard, so it's a little bit tighter than your standard single table.
As I called it, that we're going to see a bit of a safety battle.
To the red, such a red.
Jaden is not going to mind because he's, well, 20 points up to the good.
Exactly what Charlotte
Not a very big lead
chose to leave them.
when it comes to snooker, but he will hope that he can get a point or two every time. And Mervyn does well with that long range shot all the way from behind the bulk line
Shortly for the advice
to the opposite end of the table.
to
And
between Charles Young and Kiyoshin Moodley.
he snookers Jaden,
The ball ready, feel free. You need to be in touch with that advice cube, staring at the ceiling, not just
playing it safe
for tomorrow.
and hoping
In
to
touch with them advice cube.
get a few points from this exercise.
8, so just got an advice cube to 0.
I think the referee is going to respot that.
Chat with them.
Quickly checks with Mervyn and resports it. It's not a very difficult snooker to come out of, especially if you got more than one attempt. We should see Jaden managing to reach that red. In the meantime, though, he's just donated 4 valuable points to Mervyn. And like I called it, it wasn't going to take him many attempts to get that right. But all going well according to Mervyn's script, because
Main sponsor advice cube. Popped onto the screen there.
it doesn't give Jaden much of an option.
Sponsoring this event, the players not only playing for the advice cube trophy, they are playing for 75,000 rand, which is absolutely great to see. Advice cube is
Mervyn doing well to frustrate Jaden.
mini qualifiers, along with the advice cube qualifiers that these players completed in so a total of 64 qualifiers. Thank you. And from the mini qualifier, spot it.
So a respot there. And 4 points for Mervyn for that foul.
It was top 16, the other 8 spots are filled by 8 seeded players. Right now on your screen, you are seeing seed number 1 versus number 8. Question is seed number 8.
Foul for the second time, which gives Mervyn another 4 points.
Top 16 match.
So tactical play paying out for Mervyn in this instance. You see the players there helping the referee to respot the balls where they were. Finally, Jaden manages to get himself out of this position that he's found himself in, despite having to donate 8 points in 1 goal to Marvin. Marvin back to the table and aims for that center. He misses it just by an inch. And by doing that, calls back Jaden to the table. Jaden was going to go for safety as well. I think Mervin can still see that rage from his left side, or rather the left side of the green, if you're coming from his playing side. And Jaden will play for safety, I'm sure, as well, as it goes on and on. That could actually be a bit of a dangerous shot for Jaden. Well, he escapes unscathed. From where I was, I thought Mervin was going to go for a pot. Mervin finds himself in a snooker. Very mild one, but couldn't get to it. Jaden calls for a respotting of that cue ball. Unfortunately, Mervin doesn't get it again. Seems to have hit the same position. Right, we lost the scoreboard for now. It will be fixed just now. We are back to it. Many thanks to our technical team. So Jaden needs to he needs to run with this, and he knows that he's playing a very difficult opponent, Mervyn Donnelly. Mervyn has got that never say never spirit. You know, not a frequent snooker player, but if he can get to this level for a court that doesn't play that often, then it shows you how much of a fighter he is. You never take such players for granted. That was almost a fluke of not there. So we're down to the color balls. Jaden 49, Mervyn 31. Still open for anyone's taking at this point in time. There's still 28 points on the table. So with 28 points on the table, Mervyn could still win this frame. And with the same 28 points on the table, Jaden could still also win the table. So as we all know that once we're done with the reds, it's down to the color balls, and the color balls have to be ported in order of their value of points. And Mervyn has been found in a position of snooker here. The game is at an edge where he can't afford to concede any fouls. So he has to try by all means to get to this yellow here, who's so close, but not good enough. Aiden wants to have the white respotted as he gets 54 points out of those 54. The last 4 are courtesy of Mervyn's foul. Mervyn does well to get to that yellow, and in doing that, he seems to have left Jaden in a snooker position as well, but no difficulties they should be posed for Jaden. Fairly simple. Both players struggling with this yellow here. Struggling because they both don't want to leave any gaps, so they don't want to leave any opportunity for their opponent. This is the best opportunity that Mervyn's got to have that yellow tucked into the top right pocket, corner pocket. Well, he opts for more safety. It's almost got him into trouble as that white danced around the pocket and nearly fell in. Ooh. That's not so safe after all. Mervyn finally breaks that jinx with the yellow ball. Which is 2 points worth. And it goes to the green, which is 3 points.
Scoreboard, the second frame of the quarterfinals.
So Jaden narrowly misses that brown. As he sits with 57 points in comparison to Mervyn's 13. So with 22 points on the table, it leaves Mervyn requiring a snooker. But I think Jaden's got a good sort of that brown between the blue and the pink. If anything, if not going for a pot, he can still just touch that brown and avoid giving Mervyn awarding with the foul. He does well to get it through. Mervyn does well to get it through. Does well to get it through. Mervyn might have just left himself vulnerable by that last shot of his. Jaden should be able to put that blue into that bottom left corner pocket easily, which he does. You see a concession there from Mervyn. So Jaden goes 1-0 up in this last 8 encounter. In the other match that is running concurrently to this one, we've got Charles Yonk, number 1 seed, versus Kiashan Moodley, number 8 seed for this event. One of South Africa's finest porters of the ball, trailing Charles by 1 frame to nil. And current points on the board right now in the frame that they're playing is Charles 48 and Kiashan 13. So Kiashan a bit under pressure there. Back to our table, where Mervyn is going to break and get us underway. Frame number 2. Decent break, not giving away anything. forces Jaden to come through and also have to break that cluster. But in doing so, he should not risk leaving himself vulnerable as well. So the players that are playing right now have got a very good advantage when they finish playing. They get to rest until at 10. Their job will be done for the day. They've got ample time and recuperate. Snooker matches are very long and draining. Hence, one match has got 3.5 hours allocated to it. But even then, with that 3.5 hours, it's never enough. Evidently, we saw that we had 2 matches that were decided by time today. Both Jaden and Mervin went through courtesy of being ahead due to time constraints. I think it's a fair match between these two because both players played for extended hours. For extended time. They had to be stopped after the time was up, and both players had to face each other again. So no one's gonna say the other guys rested enough. I didn't get to rest enough. They both finished at the same time and had little rest. Just a quick bite for lunch and back to the table again. Snooker is one of those sports that requires a lot of stamina because one match can go on for 4 hours, for 4.5 hours. And to play 2 or 3 matches like this in one day, then it's a lot. So news trickling in from the other stream is that Shal leads Kiyashan Moodley by 2 frames to 0 in the race to 5, or rather best of 9, and 3.5 hour allocation in terms of time. Mervin leads 3 by 3-0. Jaden on the table. This is going to be a tussle. The two are going to tussle with each other all the way. They both play a very slow game. They take before take out. Very careful players in that regard. Mervin just unlucky there with that long attempt to the bottom left corner pocket. He's been executing these very well throughout the day. But unfortunate on that incident. Jaden suffering the same fate as well, to the same pocket that Mervin just couldn't get through to. So Jaden registers his first set of points, or his first point. And he rattles the black on the pocket. Very unfortunate there. Looks very disgusted and pissed off with himself. But this is one game where you can never have anyone to blame but yourself. It's how you play as an individual. Particularly this is not a team event, it's a singles event, so you have to back yourself up. So some tactical display from Mervin, ensuring that he doesn't give Jaden an opportunity to go up.
So Sean has done the necessary repairs to his Q-tip, who is clearly not something. But just quickly run off to the side. All of these players have a little bit of a kit with them, just with Q-tips and some sanding paper and a little bit of glue if needed. Nice shot being played by Sean. How's his thing? I think he's on the back. Should be on the thing to the middle. There's a little bit of a gap between the two roots to get to the thing. Just taking a walk around the table, just looking at the layout of the reds. Seeing these players doing quite often, they'll never just stand on one side of the table, just play from there. It just opens up a few more options that you might not necessarily see is on the back. Recommend about that. Position 4, back on that spot. So it goes on the down spot. Change the approach of Sean moving forward. Use the cue ball on the line that it is now, the horizontal line that it is now, and when it comes to play first, he needs to take it further up the table, which he has done. Again, we saw in the first match, we saw Sean actually playing into the middle pockets and running into the cluster of reds.
So it's Jaden on the table on a color ball, and his choice is the green, which is 3 points for him, and positions himself well to go to that top left corner pocket. A couple of reds to choose from there. The easiest one being the one that's on the arc on the bulk line. So Jaden on it. He gets it. That is his completion of that, and gets back to a color ball. and I think he's selecting to go for the green again. He's taking no chances and risking anything.
That back onto its spot as quickly as possible. A nice little bit of a separation in amongst that cluster.
So he's on a break of 5. That should take him to a break of 8. And still has good sides off the reds beyond the bark line.
On the red to the bottom right.
Sometimes you just need to do what's simple and basic and just follow through. You don't need to go fancy. I think that's what Jaden is doing right now. He's just doing the basics and following through the basics and hoping to get far with what he's doing. He'll be hoping that he can go 2-0 up, and that will boost his ego more to keep on doing better. But again, he's playing against Mervyn Donnelly, who's no pushover.
Integrated for the rest of the position. All of the cue ball on the table cannot stretch that far. Shall very proficiently with the rest. Just need to stay very still.
And as well to get that 5-pointer on the board, breaking and building. It goes to, I should take him to a 19 break. So he's on a 14 break. Does extremely well to have that red straight to that top corner pocket. Didn't really leave his cue ball in an excellent position to get a white color ball. We can see him scratching his head and deciding what to do. Goes with the green and slices it in, moving his cue ball right to the opposite end of the table. Excellently done there. That red to the middle pocket. And now he's on the black, which he just has to nudge into this bottom right corner pocket. That's a routine shot. It shouldn't pose any problems. What's important is the control on the cue ball. He's probably gonna go for the center. On that, it's on the black, but had to plan around it and see what he does next after he posts that black. He's gonna need to extend his cue and get a rest and be able to push this red down to this bottom right corner pocket. Jaden has his tail up, he's smelling blood as he leads Mervyn Donnelly by a good 32 points and does well to extend that lead as he moves to 36 points and has got the black to the bottom left corner pocket.
However, Kiyashin won the title 10 years before Charles won it in 2022. May, Charles won the SA title for the first time. Kiyashin won it in 2012. So,
Excellent play there by Jaden.
in fact, the
Break of 43, very decent. That should take his break to 50. Break of 50 is highest in this event so far. His highest break in an official event sits at 80. So can he go on to beat that 80? Alright, his fairy tale run comes to an end. Leaves him with 51 points though, compared to Mervin's 3. Decent lead. There's still a lot to play for though in this frame. Still a lot of balls on the table, meaning a lot of points still available to play for. So Jaden's been presented with another opportunity to run with this. If he doesn't make this count, then he won't be able to make anything count. This takes him to 57 compared to Mervin's 3, which means that which sees him going to frame number 2. I don't see anything stopping him at this point in time. Unless if he decides to play like he just did now, then that can stop him. But it will take a very clinical Mervin to catch up here. Very clinical.
Very clever and great match awareness by Charles. Charles had a lot of momentum. Worked very well, and Kiyashin showed
And Mervin just unlucky there.
distance between
The pocket's showing him no mercy.
is missing by simply
Leaving that red hanging on that pocket.
black is obviously obstructing.
I don't think Jaden's got good side of it, so he goes to the opposite end of the table. And he just does that with so much ease. If Jaden could be consistent, he would be one of the best players in South Africa, because he plays lovely shots at times. He didn't stick to basics because he had the blue right in front of him. But I think because he knew that this is he's already backed this, he wasn't really concerned with a lot. So Jaden 2, Mervin 0. So in the other encounter that's going on, Charles is leading 2 frames to 0, and in terms of points, Charles has 39 and Kiyashin 26. The referee getting ready for the next frame.
Our experienced team of highly trained industry professionals understand exactly what your needs are, whether it is your family, your personal assets, or your business. Get in touch with AdviceCube today. AdviceCube, insuring assets. AdviceCube is a registered financial service provider.
So we're back to frame number 3. Mervyn gets us underway. Losers break. And Jaden seems to want to take it from where he left off last time. With that red to that right middle pocket. He's got the blue to that left middle pocket. Like I said earlier on, it's important to play simple at times. Play simple, play basic, and the rest will take care of itself. Of itself. Very well done there. Very well done by Jaden. On a 22 break. Definitely found his mojo. He's playing way different than what he was doing in the first match. He's going for a 5-pointer there with the blue, and he does it well. Brings his break to a 28. Moves along to 29. Down to his color balls to complete this circuit. I think he'll go for the yellow. That's the safest and best option, so that he doesn't move away from that red to that middle left pocket. He also needs to think of a way just to nudge those balls after he puts this red in. He obviously is going to go for the blue. Or at least go for the colors on the back line and then just come back and break these reds. Or if he's got the pink to that bottom right corner pocket. Don't know how well positioned he is for that, but yes, he goes for the blue. Spoiled for choice. And lands himself in traffic. Jaden on a 37. And Mervin still to register any points. Hasn't been given an opportunity though. And his opportunity comes now. Plays it safe. Jaden has done well in this match so far. He's definitely put Mervin on the back foot. Tactical we're going to see a tactical game for the next couple of minutes. Definitely we're going to see it going that way. But I see Jaden has got an opportunity to add to his points tally there. He's got the right middle pocket and he misses it. I don't know how he fluffs that. I'm sure he can't believe it himself. These are the opportunities that you get to bury somebody, and you cannot put them to waste. You have to make them count for something. You know, you end up crying and regretting over these moments at times. Mervin does well there, in a bit of a tight circumstance, to put his first point on the board, and he's got the black here. He needs to stay composed and move his points to 8 points. And he overcuts that black, overdoes it. So obviously feeling a bit under pressure now that Jaden seems to be on top of his game. Mervin definitely playing second fiddle now to Jaden. I don't know what's happening with Jaden as well. Probably commentator's curse. So Mervin being tactical there, trying to slow Jaden down. Mervin has to get going, or else he risks going 3-0 down. If he goes 3-0 down, then it becomes a mountain hill to climb. But if he manages to get one back now, then it's 2-1, and it's always well within reach when it's 2-1. It becomes so anyone's taking. Mervin extending his cue there and needing the stance of a rest to try and get maximum points there with the black. And squeezes it in. I just squeezed it in. Also overrunning that white. So he's obviously going to go for safety. Can't do much given this scenario right now. Oh well, he does it. He proves myself and other people wrong. Back to the black. Almost similar position that he just fluffed from now. Makes no mistakes this time around. And gets a 16 break. Sitting on 17 points. Excellently done there. So as it stands right now, these gentlemen playing here have already earned themselves 4,500 rand, regardless of whether they exited the stage or not. They are pocketing 4,500 rand. We thank Advice Cube for making this a possibility. Many other service providers available as well that made this a possibility. Q Masters, Purple Rain, My Day Brands, and that went terribly wrong. From being a safety shot to setting it up for Jaden, and Jaden will take that with both hands. I'll do the same. If given an opportunity like this, then you take it. You know what they say, Christmas comes just once a year. But Jaden also not managing his white well. That was a good attempt of doubling shot to the middle right pocket. Mervyn back to the table. Ooh, unlucky there with that red. Mervyn, it just rattled the pocket. Sometimes when it refuses to roll for you, it just refuses. It did nothing wrong in that instance. Jaden slowed down in tempo now, missing easy shots. Mervyn taking that ball out of the pocket. What is done now seems more difficult than just pushing that ball into that pocket. This seems to be more difficult. But Jaden has been given a chance, and he also doesn't use it, but instead he leaves that red. Not a very easy position for Mervyn, but it's definitely doable. I think Mervyn is going to try and play safe though. On the other match that's happening, Charles currently leading 2-0. But a battle of note for frame number 3. They're left with 2 balls on the table, the pink and the black. A big safety battle going on in that match. Kiashan looking to black and Charles looking to go 3-0 up.
backside relief there by Shaw. Balls will be put back in place. The 3
Alright.
so close graded by Kiyoshin. 3-0 as it stands. Over on our second feed, still 2-0. Jordan over on the 39. 17. 2-0 in favor of Jaden. Great throw there by Shaw. Young Kiyoshin really very interesting.
Right, Jaden sets up Mervin nicely there.
Shortly, once the match official has
Mervin's got a couple of options in terms of reds.
frame number 4 underway.
He's opting to go the other way so that he's got good sides for the black when he comes back from that red, which he does well. Great opportunity for him to put up some points on the board. He's been trailing for too long, and if there's anything that he needs to do right now, he needs to come back into this game. And if he can, most of these raids here are in excellent positions for him to catch up, then he'll be in a very good stead to at least pull one back and reduce the deficit and make it a game that is still for anyone's taking. But if he lets Jaden go to 3, then it becomes more and more difficult. So yeah, it's a tricky encounter. On our other match that's being played, Charles has gone 3-0 up, making it a mountain climb for Kiyash and Woodley. So this is going to be one of those frames that will go down to the wire from what I can see. Mervin on the table, he decides to go too hard. You know, I don't know why he went that hard, because I think he was trying to make sure that the white or the cue ball comes back so that he can play the black easily to the bottom right, but in the end that cost him quite a bit. Jaden opts for safety play and leaves the white quite far from the other red. So, but Mervin has been doing well with long shots today, so I wouldn't rule this out. Oh, he goes for safety. He opts for that. So it's Jaden 40 and Mervin 33. Jaden on the table with an opportunity to increase that lead. And for a 6-pointer there with that pink. And with that said, he goes to 46. He's just going to go. He'll definitely go for a safety shot there with that red. He's happy to go slowly with this until he sees where it takes him to. But Mervin has been given a chance to slice that red into that middle right pocket. It's going to be an important turnaround for him if he can get this in. That's all that he needs, a turnaround in fortunes. Gets that red in. I think he's going to go for safety. He's going to go for safety. because we're down to the yellow, to the color balls. Jaden needs to go for the yellow, and I think not giving himself enough time there to play that yellow and come out of that snooker. So he finds himself having to present or gift Mervyn Donnelly with 3 points. Mervyn on the yellow, moving over to the green, as he obviously tries to play catch up here, down to the color balls only. So they'll go for the green and then for the brown. And there we go. Oh, he misses that. He'll definitely be unhappy about that miss. But one would say that it's a bit of a blessing in disguise, because he'd have snookered himself for that blue. So Jaden is playing it safe, and he snookers Mervyn in the process and raises his hand in sign of apology, as that wasn't meant to be the case. Jaden wants to come out of that snooker, and it's almost fortunate to have that going to that bottom right corner pocket. It would have been very, very fortunate. Mervyn has to find ways to come out of this snooker. Ooh, missed that by just an inch. And referee's going to respot, and Mervyn is going to have to go again for that. That's 4 points that he lost. Goes to Jaden for 50. And he misses by exactly the same margin as before. Jaden goes up to 54. It keeps on looking better and better for Jaden here. And misses it even by a wider margin than before. Jaden to 62. And fourth time lucky. But after donating 12 points, it's not a nice feeling. And he's left the cue ball right behind that brown for Jaden just to tap it in. Takes him to 66. With 18 points available on the table, Mervyn will require a couple of snookers, and he's conceded. Jaden goes 3-0 up against Mervyn Donnelly. So we have the exact identical score as the other match that's going on between Charles and Kiashan, where Charles is leading by 3 frames to nil, and in terms of frame scores now is, in terms of points, frame points, he's got 43 and Kiashan 0. So Charles definitely flying away with this. Very important frame. Very important frame for Kiashan. He needs to come back into it. Being 3-0 down against Charles is already a lot of work, let alone being 4-0 down. It's just too much for you to come back into it. Charles is not the type of player that can slumber for 5 frames in a row. It's not possible. So we thank our technical team for giving us snippets of what's happening on the other table. We are back to our featured table between Jaden Nobben and Mervyn Donnelly at Durban Derby going on. Mervyn Donnelly playing in his debut tournament and has done well to get to the last 8 in his debut tournament, and he dispatched tournament seed number 4, Ricky Tregoning. So that's by no means an easy fit. Mervyn Donnelly to break us. There we go. His highest break in an officially recognized match is 112. And his home club is Stella Sports Club. He uses a Oman Q made from ashwood and uses a Perry tip. His chalk of choice is the master chalk. In terms of pro snooker seating, is sitting on number 82. His journey to making it to this tournament was he played against Nathaniel Covendrage, and then he played against Darren Iyer, and then against Tessigan Covender, and then he made it. So well done to him. He played very experienced players. It was quite a tight. It was a very tight group of players that played the main qualifier. It was him, obviously, Mervyn Donnelly, Nathaniel Covendrage, Selvin Moodley, Darren Iyer, Warren Horsley, Ethan Chetty, Tessigan Govender, and Andre Hatting. So it was a tight affair, but he still made it through. So well done to him for getting this far. And it's not over yet. This match has gone on for 1.5 hours, so it still has a good 2 hours .
Charles sits. There's the ground in the way. Charles already looking elsewhere. Is he looking at his next comer? This frame now also after a quick start by Charles is again not to good shot being played by Charles. With an opportunity. Out and fouled. We will two of them frame Kiosh scratches. People in hand. Reasonably easy opening move. Realize what the loose reds just to extend the lead. Kiosh has not scored any points yet in this frame. The first thing that Sean would want to make sure is that he dispatches the two loose reds as quickly as possible. And with the last cover after dispatching the second red, gives himself with an option just to easy run into a cluster, just to pick up a few more options. Wants to get rid of these loose reds.
Decent spread of balls around the table.
Play in there, too much of a fight.
But both players being extremely tactical and wary of each other.
Just a 1-2 position. He's playing one low and down. Himself on the end. There's still 6 reds left on the table. It's almost an dusted and secured by Shaw. That brings the question as to how much of the fight Kiosh wants to put out because he can still get snookers if Kiosh does get an opportunity to come back to the table. In time for them to try and do that. Now, the question is, what does Shaw do to create an opportunity for him to lead goes to have Kiosh and Mervyn seated? There's one option that is working out. It's the only left with a combination shine ball does the red closest to the cards.
Very vital frame, this one, for Mervyn. Mostly for Mervyn because he needs to come back into this. He needs to put some points. He needs to stop Jaden from going on and on. Remember, folks, it's a race to 5 or best of 9. And with the way it looks right now, Jaden is looking good to go through. But fortunes can just turn around, so we'll have to see what Mervyn can do to turn this around. If there's any time to turn around, it will be now. It would be now. Jaden looking to build on his 13 points and keep moving. Very tense affair going on here between the two. Excellent shot by Mervyn. That's a mind-boosting shot. When you pot such balls, you start having belief in yourself. You know that you can do anything. Very good attempt there by Jaden, but not good enough to make it all the way. Attempt didn't go his way. Now Mervyn has to clean up. He's going to clean up and get going. Mervyn records his first set of points in this frame. The raids are nicely spread. They just need someone to take advantage of how nicely they are spread. Once again, a big thanks to AdviceCube. Very big thanks to AdviceCube for putting this total prize fund of 75,000 Rand together. So if you need any financially independent solutions tailored to your needs or to your business needs, you need to contact them. They do life, investments, short-term employee benefits, medical aid, fiduciary, and business advisory as well. So you need to talk to them for all your financial freedom. So you can find out more information on their website, which is www.advicecube.co.za, and you can always email them on info@advicecube.co.za. They are a fully licensed service provider. We would like to thank My Day Brands as well. My Day Brands, the official drinks supplier for Pro Snooker, keeping our players energized and hydrated all the way. And we thank other people that are involved in all of this. We have Purple Rain, which is our official printing partner. We also have Q Masters, and we'd like to thank the entire Pro Snooker team for putting all of this together. It's by no means an easy thing to do, but we appreciate the fact that these people are involved and trying to grow the sport as much as possible. And I'd like to thank all the companies that are sponsoring individuals, some individuals that are here. We would like to thank the companies that are helping them to travel to and fro, help them with accommodating expenses, and make sure that everything is up to standard with their players. Companies like the rental company, which sponsors Shal Yonk, WRD distributors in Port Elizabeth, they're doing all that they can to help the sport grow. So the rental company sponsors Shal Yonk and WRD distributors. We have Screen Vision also, which sponsors Fakhri Kirdan. Screen Vision from Joburg. And we've got Abdus Realtors, buying and selling, investing, property management in Cape Town. They're proud sponsors of Tariq Samsudin. Tariq, who couldn't make it to this event, but it's quite important for players to get sponsorship from different corporate organizations, from different companies. It just helps them to play their game and not have to worry about a lot of things, and they perform much better. We also have Umdoni Private Ambulance Services, proud sponsor of Jaden Nobben, based in Park Rainy. So they are an ambulance service and they sponsor Jaden Nobben. I'm sure they'll be proud of his efforts as he currently leads Mervyn by 3-0. And if he wins this, then he's through to the last 4. His sponsors will be very excited and they'll appreciate the fact that they're giving somebody who takes the sport seriously. We thank BP Moy Street as well, that sponsor Rafik Lambada, and United King of Pool Tables also sponsoring Rafik Lambada. So players out there, try source sponsorship, and it's also up to the corporate world to try and support these gentlemen, support these ladies that play Q Sport and help to grow the sport. So Mervyn Donnelly back to the table, trailing by 15 points. Has literally played second fiddle all the way in this game. Didn't fancy himself playing number 2 to Jaden like this. Nicely cut there into that top left corner pocket, but overruns the white in the process. Not doing himself any favors to get a decent or a clean shot of the color balls there. He's going to end up playing a safety shot. Yet he really needs to get points on the board, and he does that clinically. Good job there from Mervyn. Clinical shot, played by Mervyn there. He's got the black to that middle right center pocket. Ooh, unlucky there. Too much pace on the black. Just hits the jaws of the pocket and flies away. Jayden not clinical at this point in time. Not doing himself any favors either. Leaving that nicely set up for Mervyn. So Mervyn on a black, which will take him to 29. Leaves the cue ball good positions for that red, which he's going to guide and run it by the cushion into that top left corner pocket. Mervyn doing well to get that red in, but his positional play not so great as he levels the Thames at 30 apiece. This forces him into a tactical shot where he tries to play for safety. But he could have left this in a very straight position for Jayden to just nudge it top right corner pocket. He's honestly unlucky as that red rattled both pockets on the bark line, both of them, and went out. Mervyn playing safe and trying to snooker Jayden there. I believe Jayden can see that red. Won't be able to do much, but he can see it definitely. So this frame definitely going down to the wire. That could be a nice fluke there for Mervyn. Excellent look. Sometimes you know what they say. Luck favors the brave. That was very lucky for him. And not too sure what he was attempting to do there, because maybe he was trying to snooker Jayden. I'm not too sure. But Jayden will not be enticed to go careless. So it's Mervyn 31 and Jayden 30. And he misses that. The referee will respot. Ooh, Mervyn just unlucky there. Had the banana shot just trying to get to that yellow and almost got it. But that wasn't good enough. Referee will respot that. Guess that right. That was the first intention. But Jaden will be grateful for those 8 free points that he got from this whole exercise. There's a foul there by Jaden. We're down to the color balls. And yellow goes first. These are non-negotiables. Yellow, then green and brown, followed by blue and then pink. And lastly 7. Mervyn doing very well to try and come back into this encounter. Mervyn on 49. Slots that in, that will take him to 55. And Jaden concedes this frame. I beg your pardon. So we're sitting on Jaden 3 frames against Mervyn 1. So good fight there from Mervyn Donnelly to draw 1 back and reduce the deficit from 3-0 to 3-1. Trailing by 2 frames is always better than trailing by 3 or 4. So it feels different when you trail by 1 frame or by 2 frames in comparison to being 3-0 or 4-0 down. He loses break, so Jaden gets us underway as we watch frame number 5. So in news that has just come in from our other match that's being featured is Shaw is through to the last 4, courtesy of dispatching Kiashan Moodley 5-0. That was a big match, but Shaw made light work of Kiashan Moodley. I thought it was going to be a grudge match of some sort, as Shaw defeated Kiashan in the last essays. He defeated him in the finals, so I thought we were going to see a match here which was going to go down to the wire, but Shal made light work of Kiashan Mutley. No wonder he's SA number 1 currently, and he's been winning all the Pro Snooker events. So that shows you, when you get someone like Kiashan being defeated 5-0 by Shao Yong, then you know that it's not an easy road. So we continue with our encounter here between Jaden Noben and Mervyn Donnelly. So we appreciate our sponsors, Advice Cube. Advice Cube all the way from Gauteng. They are providers of financially independent solutions that are tailored to suit your individual and business needs. So if you want any financial freedom, you need to ring them up on 086 173 2688. They provide investments, short-term and long-term insurance, employee benefits, medical aid, business advisory, fiduciary, and life insurance. So Advice Cube is the way to go. We appreciate them helping us to put together a prize fund of 75,000 Rand to ensure that this tournament is a success. So of all the 16 players that participated or that are participating in this event, everyone's got a piece of cake to take from the 75,000 Rand, and it goes as follows. The winner gets 12,000 Rand. The runner-up gets 8,000 Rand. Semi-finalists get 6,000 Rand. The quarter-finalists get 4,500 Rand. So playing right now guarantees you 4,500 Rand, 4.5K. That's we all know the current economy. You know, just to get 4,500 Rand is a lot for anyone, and everyone who participated in the last 16 gets 3,000 Rand. And we've got the prize for the highest break, which is 1,000 Rand. At the moment, well, we didn't get quite good updates with the scoring when Charles was hitting that high break. Might be over a century that he did, and he might be the one who's in good stead of winning this 1,000 Rand highest break. So back to our table. Jaden versus Mervyn Donnelly. Last 8 encounter. The winner gets to proceed to the last 4. And the last 4 are playing tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Excellent shot there by Mervyn Donnelly. He's going to be looking to have some sort of resurgence so that he can catch up with Jaden as he's trailing by 2 frames. Still a lot of time for him to play catch up. Each match is allocated 3.5 hours, and this match is just right now on the 2-hour mark. So it has another 1.5 hours to go. So it's best of 9 or race to 5. And as it stands, Jaden needs 2 frames to proceed to the last 4. And of course, Mervyn Donnelly needs another 4 frames to do that. Mammoth task, but definitely doable. I always believe that in a race to 5 situation, it's easier to come back when someone is leading you by at least by 3 frames When it's 4, then the pressure is just too much on you. The pressure just is too much on you. So Mervin on the table, trying to make the best out of this situation, trying to play as safe as possible. As he attempts to claw back properly into this match. Very beautiful shot there by Jaden. Did well in the first 3 frames. Did extremely well in the first 3 frames. So we live to see if he's going to emulate that. Jaden levels the scores to 8 apiece. So the winner of this encounter between Jaden Nobbin and Mervyn Donnelly gets to face the most feared player in this tournament, Charles Young. But I suppose to be the best, you have to play against the best. So, yeah. So the most feared player is already in the semi-finals. We're going to see an upset tomorrow. Be it Jaden or Mervyn playing against Charles, are we going to see an upset? Anything is possible, and it's down to the belief of the players and the performance on the day. So we wait and see what happens. Anyhow, Mervyn on the table, sitting on 9 points. The yellow ball should take him to 12. No, I'm lying to 11. Sorry, man, my bad. Should take him to 11. And he comes back to the reds that are scattered all over. Overran the white a little bit. That cue ball definitely overran there. But he's got the red that's close to the cushion. If he can cut that nicely, it'll go down into that bottom right corner pocket. And he does squeeze it in with so much ease. Cue ball sitting behind the black, and I don't know if that black can go all the way to the top right corner pocket. Not too sure if it can go all the way, and fair attempt, I should say. Really fair attempt. but couldn't see it through. Bringing back Jaden to the table. Jaden with 15 points. And does it so much is sometimes I never understand these guys when they just get the difficult shots and they make them look so easy, and then when they get these obvious shots, you don't understand how they end up missing those ones. So sometimes I guess it's a case of complacency, I suppose. See, I would have put my money that he will have that in based on the last shot that he played. So consistency is key. Mervin finds himself in a snooker here. I think he finds himself in a snooker. I don't know if he can see the red that's by the cushion. I doubt that he can. I mean, there's still a lot of reds on the table, so chances of getting one are very high. It's only a matter of making sure that you don't leave it you don't leave yourself vulnerable in the process. And he gets it. It was never going to be a lot of work to get it. Well done on that one. Goes for the maximum color ball, which is the black. Carries 7 points. Just a reminder to anyone who's new to snooker. The red carries 1 point. Then the yellow carries 2. If you have that opportunity, this is what I don't understand sometimes. The obvious balls people miss and they get the difficult ones. Is it a matter of concentrating more when you got the difficult shots and then just being complacent when you got a shot that you think is a routine one? Concentration is of paramount importance in this. Just you let it lapse for a few seconds, then you're gone. Jaden's been given an opportunity to add to his points tally there. That red should tuck it easily into that pocket, and he should have the black as well. And he plays well in terms of his positional structuring. That's an excellent long distance there, showing his cue prowess, which I say could do with a bit more consistency. Jaden definitely feeling himself on the table right now. And when you feel good, you just have to keep going. And I don't know how he fluffs that one, but I've been saying this the whole time. You can't lapse in concentration, because that one moment that you lapse can define whether you're going to win a match or not. Fortunate for Jaden though, Mervin is not at his best right now. Suffering a bit from low confidence. He had to trail the whole time. that can just throw you out if you trail for long. So it's Jaden back to the table. Oh, bit unlucky there. Very close. So in our 6 p.m. session, we've got Ryan George. He's going to face Mutalib Ali. Mutalib Ali, known as the Ant from Cape Town. Mutalib made it courtesy of beating Kyle Akalu. He defeated Kyle Akalu by 4 frames to 2. So Ryan George, all the way from Wanderers Snooker Club. That's where he qualified from. His nickname is G-Man. Very fortunate to be in the last 8 rounds as he got a bye. Tariq Samsodian could not make it, and it is by default that he made it to the second round. But you know, a win is a win. You take any type of win when it comes to this. So definitely no complaints for him. He finds himself in the last 8, and I would never argue with that. I would take it any day that it comes. So Ryan George is going to square off with Mutalib Ali in the next one. And then Rafiq Lambada will play with Fakhri Hirden in the last 8 as well tonight at 6. So the way this frame is poised right now, Jaden looks good to go to frame number 4. He's looking very good, unless Mervyn obviously raises his game much higher than where it is right now. Jaden is definitely going to go to frame number 4, and it'll be 4-1 to Jaden. But there's still a lot to play for. Still a couple of raids on the table, so still a lot of points to play for. I'd like to welcome my co-commentator, Werner. Thank you, Werner.
Alison, it's been a day full of various interesting encounters that we've had thus far. And just coming now from the main table in the signature room, where we saw Shah Yonk take on Kyoshin Moodley. It's quite an interesting match there.
How was that? What was that break that Charles did that we couldn't get the confirmation of?
I'll tell you now what the break was, but what made it even more impressive was we saw at the end of the 3rd frame, Charles stepped away. It was the 3rd or the 2nd frame. Charles stepped away for a brief moment, and he was looking at his Q-tip, and he went off the camera feed for a while. and then came back a while later, and we all thought that he repaired his Q-tip, and he didn't. So he scored 116 with a split Q-tip.
He was, eh?
And some of the shots that he played it's difficult to put into words to explain to the viewers how difficult it is what he did. And yeah, it's incredible. It's 116 is definitely the highest break in the tournament thus far, and could almost add a round of applause to that for the fact that it was done with a broken Q-tip.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of the highest breaks in pro snooker events, actually, if not the highest break. Because I remember 104, I remember 110, I think. I can't remember anything more than that. So 116 might be the record break so far in our pro snooker events.
Absolutely, and also getting some justice there, Charles. In the previous event that took place, he got very close to that century and actually made the ball, but then scratched the white. And I think the break ended on a 96, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere along there.
Yeah.
So, getting a little bit of justice and a big fluke there
There's a big fluke.
by Jaden, and maybe see some fortunes here with regards to his break. Just getting a bit of confidence. The score is currently on 3-1. How's it been going on your table?
The first 3 frames were a breeze for him, definitely. We see Mervyn conceding there. The first 3 frames were quite a breeze for Jaden, with both players having had to come out of matches where they won due to time restrictions. It's a fair game. Both got like 20 minutes of rest between their last matches and this one, so none of them can say, but I only rested for 20 minutes. They all finished at the same time. So they came in the same level of fatigue. So no one can excuse themselves on that. But Jaden just came guns blazing, and the first 3 frames went fairly quick. As you saw, we were almost going at par, and then all of a sudden, Charles went all the way. And then Mervyn fought back in the 4th frame, and I thought he was staging a comeback, but he was a bit subdued in this last frame as well. So I don't know. It's Jaden 1 foot into the last 8.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for the viewers out there, if any of you are watching and you enjoy the sport, but you haven't really spent much time on these tables, anyone that has played 3 or 4 sessions in a day can tell you that it is definitely something that you feel the next day. So it does take its toll on the body, and that's why it's so important just to make sure that you not only play a lot, but you make sure that you keep yourself physically fit and you eat healthy and mentally, because there's a thing such as mental fatigue as well. And I haven't been watching the match, even though we can see the feed while we're commentating together. But yeah, it could very well be that, I mean, Jaden is a youngster, not that he's a 60-year-old. It might just be down to mental fatigue as well, having to concentrate for that long.
Yeah, look, Mervyn Donnelly is a very good Q Sport player. He plays a lot of Chinese pool. In the past, he played a lot of black ball, but he's moved from the small tables. I don't see him playing 9 ball. I only see him playing Chinese, and recently he came back to play snooker after a very long time. So it's a big thing for him that he knocked out 4th seed of the tournament, Ricky Tregoning. That was a good pot by Jaden there.
Even the shot before, he played a long red to
Yeah.
the bottom left corner pocket, which was a great shot.
So yeah, it's an achievement for him to get to this stage, to the last 8, and especially a courtesy of defeating Ricky Tregoning, one of Pro Snooker's campaigners, senior and campaigners of this event. So yeah, it's down to fatigue. 49-year-old against 25. It could be that as well.
Absolutely. And just looking at how he played, because he played 2 brilliant shots in a row, the red to the bottom left, and then he played a beautiful black, and then he had quite a reasonably easy red. And again, that's just concentration. That's supposed to be your bread and butter.
I was saying the same thing. I've been saying the same thing, that the concentration lapses easily, you know. So when he's got difficult shots, he puts his 100%. And when he's got these routine shots, he does not. And unfortunately, that can be the difference. And if Jaden goes through to the last 8, he's going to face Charles Young in the last 4. And such mistakes, obviously, you pay for. You get punished for by Charles.
Absolutely. And also in seeing Jaden play that shot, as we see Mervyn now starting to put together quite a bit of a break here, and he's also in the lead now. When Jaden played that shot, it almost looked like as he was playing the shot, he came up at the same time. His whole body came up as he was playing the shot. And if you compare that to Charles, who just played now against Kiashin, the ball's almost come to a rest before Charles moves, before his head comes up. Yet Jaden came up as he played the shot. So yes, he's still young. He hasn't been playing for all that long. Charles definitely has the experience, but it is something that he would need to have a look at if he wants to grow as a snooker player. Very unfortunate as to the placement of that blue, because there's a loose red to the cluster. But yeah, he can get an easy safety here. Just needs to make sure that he gets this cue ball in a difficult spot as possible. Very fine contact there.
Very fine. I actually thought he didn't. He missed it. Did he get it?
It looked for a moment there as if he touched it. We should be able to see now if Jaden's score goes up, which it doesn't look like it is. It looked like there was a slight deflection as it passed that cluster there. If he didn't touch it, that would have been such a silly mistake. He's got such a big target. Oof.
Oh, that's unlucky.
So close.
That's unlucky.
Again, opening the door for Mervyn Donnelly here. Not easy bridging over that cluster of reds, but at least this shot is one of the easier ones on a snooker table.
No, he does well to sit the white just behind that black. He can get that bottom left corner pocket. It's not a difficult shot from the way that he's been playing.
Nicely played, and he also ran deliberately the cue ball into the cluster of reds just to free some up, but it doesn't look like he's had a lot of fortune with running into the cluster. He's already looking at the safety opportunities or the safety possibilities that he has. Looks like that'll be the end of the break.
Yeah, you'd have loved to run to the cluster, but also free the wide ball there. It just went, it stopped abruptly there, making it hard for him. But well, he's played safe.
Yeah, just a little bit unlucky there. But quite often if you watch the players on the professional circuit, we refer to it running into the cluster. But the way those guys play it is they actually study the cluster in such a way that they determine which ball in the cluster they want to hit and where they want to hit that ball, as if you are playing a shot to make it. So they make a ball, and then knowing and understanding the cue ball so well, they know exactly where their cue ball is going to go into that cluster. And normally they then get a bigger split. It is a healthier split, if I can call it that, leaving yourself with more options. And again, it's all part of break building, and yeah, it all comes down to training and practice.
Yeah, I suppose obviously you always don't want to leave yourself vulnerable as well in the process, because if you are overzealous about it, then you will leave gaps and you'll just leave yourself extremely vulnerable, and you're just going to help the next person to benefit from your splits or from your break.
As we see here, break coming to an end once again for Mervyn Donnelly, but building up quite a nice lead here. Lead currently on 26. But the bigger lead, the more pressing lead, is Jaden's 4-1 lead.
Yeah, well, you can tell that right now Jaden is not playing under any pressure, because he somehow feels that he's repped this, but he should just guard against complacency. I mean, we've seen people coming from 4-0 down to win like a race to 5, like 8-0 down to win a race to 9. So
absolutely, and it's also now a thing say this match goes down to the wire and Jaden takes it 5-4. He will now go into his semi-final match not only knowing that he's playing Charles, but reflecting on his previous performance. If he was down and pinpoint and accurate and making sure that he brings this match to a close as quickly as possible, he would have gone into the match confident.
Yes, definitely. And he needs to try and win it now. That will be good for his confidence, like you're saying. But Mervyn, a very seasoned campaigner, is attended Chinese tournaments, Haiball tournaments in China a couple of times. He's experienced in the international scene. I know he's represented South Africa before in black ball, so he's used to pressure.
Again, you can see the frustration from Jaden there with a raise of the hands and a shriek of the shoulders. Not very impressed with himself at the moment, and if I was Mervyn, I'd almost feed off of that, seeing your opponent do that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to feed off of that.
Because in one aspect, yes, you can turn and look at the scoreboard, and you can see that you are trailing 4 frames to 1. But then at the same time, you could also look at your opponent's face and feel like you're in a lead in some way with regards to how this match is going.
Yeah, because he's done well to slow him down. He's definitely slowed him down. In comparison to the last frame, if he kept him going at that tempo, then this would be over right now. But he just slowed him down. Both players are not very fast players, but Jaden is a bit faster, and he's been going faster. But Mervyn has been slowing down his play and breaking it down. So Jaden is getting frustrated, and this is what Mervyn wants.
Very good shot to the middle pocket by Mervyn. Played that really well. Unfortunately, he's now tied up the black with the pink. And one would almost say that now eliminates a few options, because the majority of the reds are on the lower end of the table, and that's your go-to balls for continuing your break is the black and the red. Oh, sorry, the black and the pink. Now, until he has opened them up, he basically only has the blue to play with, which he's done very cleverly there. Played safe, didn't have a shot on the red. So instead of just playing a safety, he still played a safety, but also then opened up the pink and the black.
Yeah, it wasn't good for either of them to have those balls stuck together. Let's see what Jaden can do here.
Your ball will remain out. Again, missing that by at least an inch and a half. That's
Mervyn is happy to have it going this way, where a couple of shots and then a safety play. Couple of shots and safety play. As it stands, he's got this. Okay, he opts for more safety. Thought he would have tried to play the.
This is not looking good.
Yeah.
Oh, very lucky that just hit the jaw on the left, and at least with that stayed out of the pocket and left a difficult shot to bridge for Jaden. Now again, this is exactly what it does when you start breaking down your opponent and they start feeling that frustration, because that was almost a shot to nothing.
Yeah. Dando overrunning his white a bit, but he's okay to go for the lower point color balls.
Yeah, it's not like he is trying to catch up in terms of points scored in the frame. He is in the lead at the moment, so he just wants to in essence, keep on turning the screw.
Yeah.
Just play this nice and gently, hold it for the black. And there is a total of 4 reds. That's reasonably within reason, so you can almost take this frame out of Jaden's hands completely, and then Jaden will definitely start asking himself questions. Again, quite an easy shot to get position onto the black. Opted not to do that simply because of the position that he needs to get onto the other reds. He is still playing for the black.
But he overran that cue ball.
So this is no easy shot.
He's feeling good, so he's gonna go for it.
Very well played.
When you're feeling good, you're feeling good.
Definitely left himself with quite a bit more angle than he needed. So with these sessions obviously timed, 3.5 hour sessions, the session started at 2 o'clock. So we have about an hour and a half left in the session. They played 5 frames in 2 hours.
Well, we've got 1 hour actually left.
Oh, that's correct. Yes, we started at 2 o'clock, so there's only an hour left. So in 2.5 hours, they played 5 frames, almost 6 frames. So Mervyn also needs to keep that in mind, because yes, he is trailing. He is now taking this frame, but he's trailing by quite a bit in terms of the frame count. With an hour left, is there enough time with the pace that they are playing at to lock down 3 frames?
Yeah, the time is of essence.
If he wins this one.
Time is of essence right now.
So definitely secured this frame, so we will definitely see another frame in this match. Scores will be 4-2. Can't see Jaden coming up from his seat if Mervyn does miss, which he has now missed. Jaden does remain seated, so that is the end of the frame. So we'll actually take a quick break. We'll see the match official just get the balls ready, and we'll continue on with our conversations. And as we see the start of the 6th frame.
Mervyn keen to get it going. Assisting the referee, they obviously realizes that time is not on his side. On the other hand, Jaden will take a nice walk to the bathroom or go for a smoke.
Our experienced team of highly trained industry professionals understand exactly what your needs are, whether it is your family, your personal assets, or your business. Get in touch with AdviceCube today. AdviceCube, insuring assets. AdviceCube is a registered financial service provider. Alright, so welcome back to all of our viewers. It is the second quarterfinal match taking place. It is Jaden Nobin against Mervyn Donnelly, the local derby. Both these gents are from KZN. 4-2 the scores in terms of frame count at the moment, as we just saw the break of by Jaden. So as we get into the 6th frame, we at the moment see Jaden with a 2-frame advantage in a first to 5 encounter, but we've now seen 2 frames in a row, if I'm not mistaken, secured by Mervin.
No, it was 3-1 and then 4-1 and then 4-2. So the first 3 belonged to Jaden, and then the fourth one went to Mervin.
Cue ball gone down there by Jaden. Big unforced error.
Yeah, well, he's got to really watch it, because once Mervin goes to 3 frames, then the belief is just going to get stronger and stronger. 4-3 is like, you know, I play 1 more frame and we're level, and then we take it down to the wire.
And we could also see now a situation with just under an hour, about 55 minutes left in the session. We could see a situation where if Mervin does win 2 frames, scores a 4-4, we could, in essence, then run out of time, because it's 55 minutes for 2 frames. That's within reason. He does need to play a little bit quicker to achieve that, but it is well within his reach. We could then see a 4-4 situation, and then it is literally down to points scored in that frame.
Yeah, well, both of them will know how that how it feels, because they came through that same route where frame points decided. Well, not exactly frame points, but it was frame scores that decided who's going through. It was a 4-2 and 4-2, I think, for both of them. So whoever loses is going to feel that, okay, this is how my opponent felt in the other game. But theirs will be a bit more, because if it's 4-4, then, you know, it's more painful than a 4-2.
You know, Jaden played a Donovan Vivigi from Port Elizabeth. Can't exactly remember who Mervin played.
Mervin played Ricky.
Ricky, that's it, yes.
Yeah.
So Ricky, the number 4th seed, and Jaden came in number 5th seed, or the 5th seed. So Mervin will definitely have a badge put on his shoulder if he can knock out 2 seeded players in 2 matches.
Yeah, well, knocking out 4th and 5th seed respectively. That'll be a big achievement in his first event, and do that.
Definitely not an attempted pot there. Just wanted to make sure that he makes contact with the red and then get the cue ball back into, which I sometimes call home base, in that bulk area.
So with the way it's going on now, well, I see Charles in the final with the way things are taking place right now.
Yeah, so the next match on my table will be Fakhri against the coach,
Rafiq.
which is quite interesting, because Rafiq is Fakhri's coach. So it is a situation where yes, Fakhri is number 2 seed, so one could almost argue that the student has already become the master, whereas Rafiq is seeded number 7. So that is, in all likelihood, a situation where the student will show that he is the master. But then for the semi-final, we'll then see Mutalip against Ryan. And I haven't really seen Ryan George play all that much, but I'm quite confident that Mutalip will pull that one through, which will then see a semi-final between Fakhri and Mutalip, which I think will be an exciting match to watch. So, yes, I think Charles is still the favorite. He's just the more consistent player overall. But we've also seen Fakhri play some really good snooker when he's got that feeling. We've seen him play some entertaining snooker as well, some flashy things that you see in exhibition matches. So if Fakhri's feeling good, these players no longer have anything to lose. Charles has everything to lose. He's the SA national champion. He's undefeated. He's feeling a lot of pressure, and he says this on the groups as well. When they talk and kid amongst themselves that everyone's out to gun them or gun for Charles. So he's feeling the pressure, definitely. The question is now is, can anyone put enough pressure on him to see that beam break?
Yep, and yeah, it's always bound to be difficult to play Charles because of his consistency. Very difficult breach there, and
Quite a nice shot played there by
Yeah.
Mervyn. Obstructed a lot of the angles using the blue and the green.
the green.
And he's also got the brown there just to hamper queuing a little bit. He can make his way through, but I can't see a clear path to get the cue ball into bulk. As you can see there, he ran into traffic, and that's exactly what Mervyn wanted.
Yeah, it was bound to run into traffic and not make much out of it. So Mervyn is happy to play safe and get points wherever he can, and he's building quite a decent lead there. Looking at the fact that he's moved on to 20 points now, and if he gets that pink, then he moves to 26. And with this distance, there's a decent spread of reds that's on this bottom side of the table. He can really make something out of this. He can go for a sizable break.
Absolutely, and it's been quite interesting to watch Mervyn literally go about breaking down Jaden. I know that almost sounds horrible, but that is in essence what he's doing. He's breaking down Jaden's game. Jaden is now going for everything. If he's playing for a containing shot, he doesn't execute as well as he should. And again, I mean, we will see this.
Loves a golden opportunity.
But again, he now has left Jaden with an easy red to the middle. But again, he needs to show some cue ball control. He's got the red to the bottom left as well. But he needs to show some control to get onto a color. It looks quite straight for the one to the middle. So if he does that, he'll probably follow through quite a bit and try and get onto the black. If he plays for the one to the bottom left, then he would need to draw quite a bit. He is doing that now. You can see he's aiming down lower onto the cue ball. No, it just stopped it right in its tracks. And yeah, can't see. He's got the yellow. I actually didn't see the yellow lurking in the top left. That's maybe why he played it the way he did. But this is it.
Which wouldn't make sense because decided to go for the most difficult port when you could have played other options that are easier. Sometimes easy does it, you know.
I mean, it's not that. It's also quite a big miss. It's not that the yellow was difficult. Yes, it had distance behind it, but it was just off angle from the pocket. I actually didn't see the yellow there, but I'm just not really understanding Jaden's thinking now overall since I've joined you in commentary.
I think he's under pressure. I think that's when inexperience comes in at times, you know. The decisions start not coming right, and the executions as well.
That's it.
They're not happening well.
And I say
He's under pressure.
he's obviously gone for a difficult shot, and I can promise you he's made those shots in the past, but not the way he is feeling right now. And he had to play that a lot harder because of the red that is to the lower left of the bottom rail. There's a red there. And he had to play it harder just to not leave that red on if he misses.
Yeah.
But in essence, Mervyn still made a red. He's a little bit unfortunate in terms of position. I wanted to screw over a little bit more and he could have gotten onto the black. But Mervyn still had a red that he could make. And tied them up, played a containing shot.
Yeah, it's like I said, Mervyn is happy to contain Jaden as much as possible. Play safe, get that odd 2 points, 3 points, get one red in and get one color ball, and just patiently build on that score that he's got. I think the aspect of time, though, is what he's missing.
So that's the first real shot that Jaden has gone for that I could kind of agree. It does look like he's left the red on, but with the hampered queuing, he still had a shot on. He could have played that, the red that he tried to then play safety on. He could have played it to the top right, which he didn't. He actually felt that, okay, listen, I'm going to have to bridge over this whole cluster of balls. It is it now a percentage shot, so let me rather try and contain it. You also don't, within his position, yes, it might be considered negative play, but you don't now want to go and make a red and can't make a color when you're trailing, because now you, in essence, extending Mervin's lead by eliminating points on the table.
Yeah.
If you go for a ball, at least try and get a red with a color, and then if you see you can't get a color, leave it safe.
We're gonna see a bit of a safety battle for this couple of minutes, but Mervin is in a good position there.
Jaden caught that red far too thick. The red almost moved faster than the cue ball did. And you want the opposites. You want to try and contain where that red ends up, and need speed on the cue ball to get it back safely into bulk. And that's not what happened. And yeah, we see again Mervin. It's a yellow, but it's points, and Jaden is in a seat.
Yeah, that's what matters right now for Mervin. He's got an excellent position for that red to that top right corner pocket. It's like a straight shot, which should be a routine shot for him.
Doesn't he? Plays beautifully onto the blue as well. Can now just follow slightly forward, then resulting obviously that he can pay for the red that is top of just the pink spot, just above the pink spot. Can now play for that red. And again, just slowly but surely chipping away on the points that's available on the table. And at the same time, Jaden is currently on 1.
Yeah, he's definitely losing grasp of this frame with each moment that's passing. Well, Mervin really spread those reds now.
If he split there.
Yeah, I mean, if he can get that pink into that middle pocket, then he's onto something. But yeah, I think he's gonna go for the black right to that top there. What would we have done there, Evan?
Yeah, look, again, this is a situation where, yes, he does now have a very nice split, but he might not feel overly confident in that pink to the middle. It is a reasonably standard shot within snooker to play, but the problem is if he plays for that, then you can't play negatively in terms of position. So what if I make it, so I need to, if I miss it, I need to leave the cue ball safe. You're going to have to go 100% in playing for it. And if you then miss it, you then have Jaden with 4 wide open balls, and he is going to try and then win this match from there. So I wouldn't disagree with how he played it, but then at the same time is we like to see confident play. We want to see entertaining play.
That's what I want to see, yeah. As fans and followers, people owe that to us.
Exactly. That's a good pot there by
Cleanly
Jaden.
done.
That's a very good pot.
It's got a few options. The pink is the best option there. And you allow him to play these reds this side as well. Ooh.
It was well within Jaden's reach. That wasn't a difficult shot, the pink.
That was a routine, everyday shot.
Mervyn, again, just extending that lead a little bit. He is on the black. The question now being is, does the red to the right of the pink pass the pink to the bottom left? Oof. Overcut that completely. And he's got nowhere in terms of position.
Jaden's going to play for safety here. Nothing much that he can do either.
Yeah, he's not helping himself there. He's now definitely tied up that red and the pink. And he is the player that needs them the most.
Precisely. Thought he was going to use that pink to slot that red in. And that was the intention.
It's a difficult one to call. Could have been an overcut because didn't need to use the pink, but obviously you need to loosen the red. A whole bunch of options. I'm not exactly sure what he intended there, but no damage done going both ways. Not a bad outcome.
Safety first.
So both reds clearly visible to Mervyn. Again, if he goes for this and misses, chances are very likely that it'll leave the red to the left middle on. Oof, beautifully played, and as you can see there, if he missed that easy shot for the left middle.
It was going to be a party for Jaden.
38 the difference now. Extends that to 44.
Does well to get position on that red. It needs to be clinical though.
Absolutely. Cue balls also needs to, yeah, that's perfect. Straight on the pink.
Just definitely running away with this one.
Yeah, he's draws it back nicely.
Good position for that yellow.
So 27 remaining on the table.
Jaden will need snookers to come back into this.
Yeah, so seeing this go through to 4-3 and with just under 40 minutes left. That's it. That is the end of frame number 6. We'll be back shortly with the very close to ending of this match. Either Jaden is going to win it outright 5-3, or we will see it go to 4-4, and then we're in for a nail biter because we'll definitely be keeping an eye on the watch. I'll be back in probably about 5 minutes or so.
Right, we can see the referee busy getting ready for the, possibly it could be the last frame or it could be the second last frame. So players are there, and I think Mervyn will be keen to get it underway as soon as possible. And yeah, he's right there to make sure that proceedings take place as soon as possible. He needs this right now more than Jaden. I know Jaden needs it, but action right now says Mervyn needs this more. Also a decent break, not giving away much, but also allowing for play as well on his reds when he comes back to the table. Yeah, and moving back to the table, he's gonna need a rest. Sure what his intentions are right now, but almost got lucky there with that one right in that middle left pocket. Luck almost favored him. Jaden back onto the table. It's 4 frames to 3 in favor of Jaden, and excellent pot there by Jaden to go 1 point up. So winner of this match between Jaden and Mervyn gets to face number 1 seed and multiple pro snooker champion Charles Young. So as things stand right now, this could be for anyone's taking. At some point it felt like Jaden was marching right through, and Mervyn was not having any of that. So there we have it. Jaden definitely looking to build on what he started earlier on. Definitely slowed down. Good job from Mervyn to slow down Jaden, because Jaden was flying high. He was cruising. He was in cruise mode. But we've seen Mervyn put a stop to that. If Jaden loses this, he's going to definitely be beating himself up. That's the end of Jaden's visit to the table. He brings back Mervyn, who he's yet to register points in this frame. So this is frame number 8 in a best of 9 frames, or race to 5. The first to get to 5 automatically goes through to the next round, which is the semis, and they get to meet Charles Young. So we'd like to appreciate all the sponsors and who have made this a possibility. Our main sponsor, obviously, Advice Cube. Hence, this event is named the Advice Cube Grand Prix. Advice Cube, your financially independent solutions tailored to individuals and businesses. So talk to them if you need to be enabled to get your financial freedom. You can always contact them on 086-173-2688, and the email address is info@advicecube.co.za. So they are leaders in investments in short and term insurances in employee benefits, medical aid, fiduciary, business advisory, and life investments as well. So be sure to get in touch with them. And not forgetting My Day Blends, one of the biggest suppliers of fruit nectar blends in the country, fully behind Q Sports, and the official drinks supplier for Pro Snooker events for last season and this season as well. So it's good to have Daya Moodley and his team on board. They're keeping our guys energized and rehydrated all the time with My Day juices. They come in various flavors, namely grenadilla, fruit cocktail, orange, mixed berry, mango and orange, peach and apricot, pineapple, and lychee. Lychee seems to be many people's favorite, so try them out. And if you've never had a My Day juice, you don't know what you're missing out. We'd like to thank Q Masters as well for their contribution to these events, and we're not forgetting Purple Rain, the official print partner of Pro Snooker, based in 11 Tedford Circle, Somerset Park, right here in Umhlanga, KwaZulu-Natal. So just to give you folks a breakdown of the prize fund money of 75,000 Rand, which is obviously courtesy of Advice Cube. The winner gets to walk away with 12,000 Rand, 12K, and the runner-up pockets himself 8,000 Rand, and both semi-finalists get 6,000 Rand. The quarter-finalists get 4,500 Rand each, and anyone who participates in the last 16 gets himself 3K, and the highest break comes with a reward of 1,000 Rand. And as it stands, Charles Young is got the highest break of 116. 116 is what he got. And the funny thing that Werner was saying, or rather not even funny, what made it more special is that it did the 116 with a correct tip. So yeah, Charles uses a Kamui tip, if I'm not mistaken, and I can see him running around looking for a Kamui tip. So if anyone is in Durban and they've got a spare Kamui tip, then they can help the champ here. And word that comes in is that he has got a replacement from his Kamui tip, so lovely, sorted.
Yeah, definitely, Ellison will actually go about, and we've got a picture of that tip that he scored that 116 with, and I'll actually try and just compile a video of where you can see where he actually then notices that his tip is damaged, and then goes about scoring at 116. I'll try and put a little highlights video compile together. So please go to Pro Snooker's Facebook page, their page, and make sure that you then keep an eye out. We'll try and post that on there so that you can have a look and see exactly what that tip looked like. And then also we'll put a little highlights package together of that 116 break with that tip. So very good to see their great performance put up by Charles. And we now frame number 8 for 3. Again, moving in the lead slightly, but will he make it 4-4, or can Jaden end this match as quickly as possible?
I think Mervin has grown more in belief, and I don't rule out a possibility of this going to 4-4, honestly. The belief that Mervin has right now is going to take him that far.
Yeah, it's just down to time. It's just about 25 minutes or so left. Exactly 25 minutes left as I have it on my watch. And a lot to play for here, because this is a spot in the semi-final. And the winner here will face Charles Young.
Yeah, it's a spot in the semi-final, and as I've been explaining earlier on, that the semi-finalist gets to pocket 6,000 rand, so it's also good for your pocket, I believe. It's a decent prize fund breakdown, given the current situation that the country faces economically. To have sponsors like Advice Cube still coming on board and making sure that events like this are a success is such a huge commitment, and it's something that we as pro snooker appreciate big time.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually had the privilege of meeting Mr. Vimal Singh when we did the draw. We did it at the offices of Advice Cube, and obviously managed to have a little chat with them. Great bunch of people. They definitely know what they're doing, and as you mentioned, the difficult times that the whole world is going through, and there's no place like Advice Cube if you just want to make sure, short-term, long-term, and make sure that you've got everything in place just to make sure that you have a rainy day taken care of. Speak to the guys at Advice Cube. Even if you're not 100% sure what you're looking for, they'll be able to give you their professional opinion, and they'll be able to assist you. Head over to advicecube.co.za. Their contact details are all on there. You can also just give them a call. It's 0861732688. That's their contact number, 0861732688, and ask to speak to any of their professionals, and I can guarantee you that they'll be able to assist.
Yeah, for sure. I've had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Singh as well last year when we had our draw at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. Very clued up gentleman and not very down to earth, but like you're saying, they definitely know what they're doing, and yeah, we appreciate them for being on board with all that's going on.
Absolutely. They contracted with all of the major companies, and they fully registered as a financial service provider, so can't go wrong. So get in touch with them. And speaking of sponsors, all of this talking is making me quite thirsty, but at least we also have Mr. Diane Moodley with My Day Brands on board with regards to refreshments. So we've got everything here. We've got action, we've got some anticipation leading down to the end of this match to see how it plays out. We've got some tasty juices to keep our thirsts quenched, and we have some snooker to watch.
Yeah, what else could we ask for, Werner?
Absolutely. It's Saturday afternoon. Maybe the only little request that I could make is have a little small screen here somewhere so that we at some point could watch the rugby.
I think we can arrange that, Werner. Just the concentration is going to be very difficult, though. So maybe if someone could just update us the scores as it all unfolds in Cape Town.
As we see a little bit of a back and forth between these two players, Jaden and Mervyn.
This going back and forth is going to be good for Jaden. Definitely not good for Mervyn.
Especially if you look at where the ball's up at the moment. I think Jaden is now he doesn't need to go for anything. How good a shot has that turned out?
Very good. Yeah. Mervyn's got a view of the red, but can't do much.
Would have been really nice if he nestled up behind that pink in such a way that it forced Jaden to then have to play and leave Mervyn with something, because the quicker Mervyn can make it 4-4, the better for him, because he would then need to get ahead on points in the ninth and final frame. Oh, cue ball.
Yeah.
Tempting the fate.
Went all the way.
Stopped at the door, wiped its feet, and then decided not to go in. A little shot being played there by Jaden. Quite fortuitous outcome depending on where that red stops at the top left. That's within Jaden's reach. He could go for that.
Most definitely. This is what he needs now. He's not under. Well, now you can see he's feeling a little bit less under pressure than the previous frame. I think he's had a look at the clock and the current.
Oops,
What?
missed that. And you could see just as he was playing that, he's not standing still. He needs to.
He's up before anything happened. He's up.
It was such an important shot. I mean, the shot could have given him the lead, and he could have then just played his normal game, knowing that he's in the lead.
Does Mervyn have good sight of that pink there? Not really, eh?
Looks like that is the black. That's a very nice looking shot that he played there.
Wasn't the easiest of shots, eh?
No. Anything down a rail on a Waraka is, you need to be pinpoint. The black coming in to spoil the party for the red to the middle. Mervyn again just controlling the situation, but he'll definitely be aware of the time. Close to 15 minutes now remaining. Cannot see them complete 2 frames within 15 minutes.
Impossible. Not at this rate.
This is going down to the right, to the wire.
I still see a 4-4 going happening here, and then a very low point separation after the 4-4.
Yeah, it would be very exciting, even if it's just with 1 point, someone
Yeah.
making a red and then time running out. It would be exciting to see. Obviously, we would want an absolute finish to every match that we have. We don't want it to go down to time. But so the simple reason is we are running a tight ship here. If we leave matches to play out normally, we also tend to see players play a little bit slower, take their time more, and then we run out of time just during the day, obviously. Is here and we do a full event in a weekend, so we can't really afford to have matches go on for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, no, some matches would go for 6 hours. Definitely. Some people would drag for 6 hours. And unfortunately, you know, everyone here has got other commitments. This is for the love of the game. And come Monday, people have to go back to work and other stuff, so...
Yeah, without a doubt. And we also, as we mentioned there, we saw Mervyn playing the black down the rail a couple of shots back, and we mentioned how difficult the Waraka tables are. And the idea behind it all is, in essence, that Mr. Cuban Moodley with Pro Snooker and the whole team wants to expose the South African players to the international standards. They want to get them used to being able to play on a world-class standard table at a world-class level.
That's it, basically, because you see in the World Championships, in the African Championships, they're using steel blocks tables, they're using Strachan number 10 cloth, so they're using G1, is it G1 or 1G balls? I always get confused when it comes to that. But these are the balls that are being used in international events, so you get a feel of what it is to play in the highest international events.
Absolutely. It's Mervyn at the table at the moment. He has a little bit of a look for this red to the middle, which he has played beautifully and makes another red. So, interesting fact, that is 2 points. It's not a foul or anything wrong with that shot. It's 2 points. Also helps Mervyn a little bit because it's one less that he needs to one less red that he needs to play at. which could see a quicker end to this frame.
I must
Makes
say,
a very
I
nice
actually
brown
want,
as well.
I now want this to be 4-4, and I'm looking for that adrenaline rush.
4 minutes to play, score 4-4,
Yes.
4-4-4, and everything to play for.
Yes.
So,
But if anything, though,
oh, that looked good. Oh, so close.
unlucky there.
That looked very good for 99% of the time, and just unfortunately rattled and came back out.
He seems to be very confident with his cushioning shots,
Down the rail,
down
absolutely.
the rail shots.
And it's probably the hardest shot to play on a snooker table. The jaws are very unforgiving, especially if there's a little bit of pace involved.
I think Jaden just sold himself out there.
He wanted to nestle the two reds closer together, because in essence what Jaden is trying to do now is to prevent Mervyn from finishing this frame, making it 4-4. He's left an opportunity now. Yes, that red is very difficult, and the other red is all the way at the top of the table. But we have 14 minutes left. I think the brown's spoiling the party a little bit there. Need
So
to
Papa,
the red that is at further distance would have loved to have a little look at the red closer to him, but the brown,
he's looking confident with his ball, so yeah, well, that's way off.
yeah, definitely overcut.
Jaden should be able to put that red in.
Especially with the position of the black. If he cuts this red in, he should be able to get onto the black. Oh, he's no. It's okay. Got angle to take the cue ball back up, but he's left himself with quite a bit of a cut on the black. He might look a different route. Does look to have enough angle on the blue. Draws it. But he needed that infamous banana shot just to get onto the other side of the red, because the red is hampered by the yellow. But what could also work is a very good snooker that Mervyn battles to get out of, that he needs to attempt 3 or 4 times, because that brings Jaden closer within reach. No, that did not work out. And it eats up in the time.
It does. I think that's not working out well for Jaden now.
Could cut this back into the corner. Goes for the double rather. Is it a 2 cushion? No. It's going to just run along a little bit. Another hanger for Jaden. Needs to cut it in, does. Again, doesn't get on the black. Cue ball. Ooh. Is very nicely on the pink, but needs to try and get on the yellow. There's no point in potting all the balls. There we go. That was a nice shot on display by Jaden, using the rails just to get onto the yellow.
We've got 10 minutes left in this match. Jaden taking his time now.
Obviously needs to have a look and see what exactly he's going to do here. This is not an easy shot. My money is almost on him not making it. So He needs to know that if he doesn't, what does he leave Mervyn with? Because with 10 minutes to play, you could clear the table from here. The black is not on its spot, but it's not in a difficult spot. Yellow is not playing along with Mervyn's plan, though. Goes for the safety. Not a hard one to get out of, though. Oof, almost got very lucky there. Kicking off of the rail.
Mervyn might have a good angle with that yellow there.
Might. How much of
That
a gap
black
is there?
Is not spoiling the fun there.
It did.
Chose to play safe. Or I thought there was a possibility of that going in.
There we go. Tries to push it towards the black, knowing that there's no way that it would go in then. But that'll do. Safety by distance. It looks like it's not going to go. And Jayden should be able to see this yellow.
But not an easy one, eh? At this point in time, not everything becomes difficult.
Wouldn't even be surprised if he goes for a safety. Again, that would just eat up more time. But as the players are instructed before the start of the tournament, that negative play is discouraged. Should always try and win the frame. So good sportsmanship being shown by Jayden there for going for the shot. He could have very well left the yellow safe and just again eating up more time. It's about 8 minutes left.
Ooh.
So close. Can Jayden make this green, brown, blue and black and win it 5-3?
He can. Just is not composed enough at the moment. He can. I don't think he will. He's already overrun that white as well.
Now you can come off of the rail and to still get onto the blue. The pink is not difficult to get onto from there depending on the angle that he has on the blue. He could win it. He's made the brown. He is getting position on the blue. Yes, the cue ball is moving away from the pink, but can either play it confidently and come off of the rail again, or he can leave himself a longer pink. Almost 5 minutes remaining. Confident in leaving a bit of distance. This is now a very big shot for Jayden, because this in essence would win him the match. If he makes this pink, I can't see him not getting position on the black, and the black is not too difficult. That is... Oh, yeah, no, he's made it. He's made it. He's going to take this 5-3.
Got it.
That's better, Mr. Nobin. That's what we want to see.
Fine display there. With just under with under 5 minutes remaining, Jayden makes it to the last four where he faces Charles Young. He's faced Charles Young a couple of times in this Pro Snooker event. I think this will be their third encounter, and each time, obviously, lost to Charles, number one seed. But congratulations to Jayden, and well played from Mervyn as well to come and push it to such a nail-biting finish.
Absolutely. Yeah, so on that note, we want to thank the viewers. We're going to have a quick break for about 30 minutes or so. We'll be back at just before 6 o'clock for the start of the second set of quarterfinal matches, and that will then bring the day to a close. And then tomorrow we'll have the two semi-finals and the final at 2 o'clock from 2:30 p.m. Cape Town TV, channel 263. Please come and join us live on DSTV. In the meantime, 360sport.co.za, you can watch all of the matches live there. The team sends out some great footage over to their YouTube channel as well, 360 Sport on YouTube. Please go and subscribe and follow along with them. A great group of people, and you can also see some other sports taking place. Our sponsors, AdviceCube, Insuring Assets, a big thank you to them, advicecube.co.za, as well as MyDay Brands, big thank you to them for being a part of this. And we will be back quite shortly. Jump onto Pro Snooker on Facebook, follow and subscribe, or just follow us on Facebook, and stay in tune with the upcoming information on there. Thanks everyone, we'll see you soon. Our experienced team of highly trained industry professionals understand exactly what your needs are, whether it is your family, your personal assets, or your business. Get in touch with AdviceCube today. AdviceCube, Insuring Assets. AdviceCube is a registered financial service provider.
Play it your way with My Day.